Hello, Assalamualaikum. Good day to everyone. Welcome back to our subject EPTV 1143 Play in Early Childhood Education. For this week, we will be looking at Unit 2, which is Theory of Play and Child Development. So, first things first, let's look at the learning outcome for our unit this week. So the first one, you are expected to be able to first explain the classical and developmental theories of play. Secondly, for you to describe the role of play in children's holistic development. And then lastly, for you to be able to apply play theories to support effective teaching practices. Okay, so we start with our first unit learning outcome, which is to understand classical theories of play by looking at surplus energy theories as well as regression theories. Okay, so what are classical theories of play? Now, these classical theories of play were some of the earliest attempt in order to understand why children engage in play. Okay, so these theories emerged in the 19th and early 20th century and are centered around the idea that play are related to energy and children well-being. So they are not primarily focused on learning or cognitive development, which is interesting because it show a different perspective on the purpose of play. So despite their limitation, these theories were very important in laying the groundwork for our modern understanding of play. Okay, so remember, while play, while theories don't exactly address all aspect of play, such as why children enjoy quiet activities, but they do offer valuable insights into the role of play in physical activity and energy release. So, first we're going to look at surplus energy theory by Friedrich Schiller in 1873 and Herbert Spencer. So, when we look at why children play, one classical theory is a surplus energy theory. So, this theory actually suggests that children have more energy than adults. Okay, and play is a way for the children to actually use and release this energy. Okay, in order for them to release this excess physical energy. Okay, so let's take one simple example, for instance, running, jumping, or climbing, and probably playing chasing games. Okay, so this activity actually show us some of the importance of physical activity of children. Okay, because they will be able to run and reduce some of their excess of physical energy. Okay, however, it is important to note limitation of this theory because it doesn't explain why children enjoy quieter activities like reading, drawing, or solving puzzle. Okay, so this theory, okay, which is discussed by Schiller and Spencer, okay, it actually become like a cornerstone for us to understand about children's play. Okay, so moving on into the recreation or relaxation theory of play lah. So this theory is developed by Moritz Lazarus in 1883, and later it was expanded by Patrick in 1916. So, in this theory, it suggested that play serve as a way for children to rejuvenate after a physical or mental tiredness or exertion. Okay, so the key here is that play isn't just about burning energy, Okay, however, it is also about restoring it. Okay, so for example, after a very long lesson or a very tired activity, children will naturally gravitate towards a play to relax and to recharge. Yeah, so this can include activity like playing outside, singing, dancing, or maybe they want to engage in dramatic play, or they can join in creative art project. Okay, so this activity not only can provide enjoyment and stress relief, but also help children to return to their learning tasks with renewed focus. Okay, so by understanding this theory, we can actually appreciate the balance that play can provide between effort and relaxation, which is very, very crucial for a child's well being and learning readiness. Okay. Then moving on to the developmental theories of play by looking the theories from Piaget, Vygotsky, Barton, and also Smilansky. Okay, so but before that, let's understand what are developmental theories. Okay, so basically, all of this developmental theory, it's a way for us to actually understand, okay, how play can actually help to enhance children learning and overall development. Unlike the classical theories, okay, uh, which they usually focus on physical benefit of play, developmental theories actually goes into deeper into the cognitive and social aspect of children development. Okay, so this theory really emphasizes on how play can nurture children thinking skill, imagination, as well as their social interaction. So this theory will explore how this element can actually contribute to children cognitive growth. Okay, which means it's very essential or important for our modern play-based learning approach, especially in ECE now. So this understanding can actually help all of us, the educators, to create environment that can actually foster for children holistic development through engaging play activities. So it is very important, very crucial to recognize that this theory can provide for a framework for us to understand how play can be effectively integrated into educational setting or lesson. Okay, and at the same time supporting children growth in more meaningful ways. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so these are some of the major developmental theories, okay, which has basically shaped our understanding of how children learn through play lah. So first we have John Piaget, whereby he emphasized that children learn best when they are actually actively exploring and engaging with their environment. Okay, and then we have Milford Patton, whereby he focused on the importance of social interaction. Okay, she also believed that children, she or he also believed that children can learn effectively through guidance and interaction with their adult and peers, lah, which help them to develop crucial social skills. And then we have Sarah Smilansky, whereby she introduced the idea that different types of play, okay, like functional, constructive, dramatic, get rid roles and so on lah. Okay, so how these all of these different types of play can actually support various aspect of child's development. Okay, and then finally we have Lev Vygotsky, okay, whereby he has outlined 6 stages of play. Okay, so it started from playing alone until up to the cooperative with cooperative stage lah. Okay, so his theory basically highlight the progression of a social skill as children grow and interact. So all of this theory actually provide us with very important insight, okay, very valuable insight into the role of play in child's development. So this basically can help us to design, to adjust or tailor our education approach. Therefore it can better support each child unique learning journey. Okay, now let's go briefly by comparing all of this theory of play. Okay, so first let's look at John Piaget. Okay, so basically John Piaget again, he emphasized learning through active exploration lah. Okay, so according to him, cognitive development through exploration. Okay, so he emphasized learning through active exploration and also hands-on experiences. So this means providing materials that children can actually explore or manipulate and help them to discover on their own will help them to actually construct their new knowledge. And then we have Lev Vygotsky. Okay, so his idea is learning through social interaction lah. So he believe in guiding learning through technique like questioning, scaffolding, okay, where adult and a peer can model a behavior. And then we have this Mildred Parton. Okay, again, he emphasized the importance of observing children's social readiness, okay, and encouraging interaction with peers. Okay, so her theory basically highlight how play can evolve from solitary activities to more cooperative form as the children grows in age. Okay, and then lastly we have Smilensky, okay, whereby she identified different types of play, okay, that can support children holistic development. Okay, so the these very types of play, okay, these very types of play experiences, okay, can also help in nurturing different aspect of child's growth. All right, so what is very important, why it is very important for us to actually learn and understand all of these theories in play. Okay, so understanding these developmental theories, okay, are very important because it is can truly enhance our approach in teaching as well as nurturing children. Okay, so again, this theory, okay, help us as the educator lah. Okay, it helps us to understand, to grasp the idea how children can actually learn through play. Okay, so by knowing the stages and the types of play, okay, so we as a teacher can better support children learning process which are suitable according to their growth and development. Okay. Secondly, these theories are invaluable in planning developmentally appropriate activities. So when educators, teachers are aware of different ways children develop and learn, they can actually design activity that align with each child growth need. Okay, and then lastly, this theory can promote for holistic approach to development. So instead of focusing on just one area, play-based learning approach, okay, encourage for overall growth of child's development. Okay, so this child-centered approach, okay, not only it help with holistic development but also making learning more enjoyable and effective. Okay, so by understanding and applying all of these theories, we as the educator, we can create more engaging and supportive learning environment for all of the children. Now when we talk about holistic development, right, let's look at the connection between play and holistic child development. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, play support holistic child development. So what is holistic child development? Okay, so means that holistic development is children grow in all area, not just in one domain. but in all area at the same time. So when children play, they learn by doing things like exploring, interacting, and also solving problem. Okay, so play is special because it is actually connects with all parts of children growth at the same time. Okay, so all parts means that including physical, mental, emotional, social, as well as their language. So through play, children can naturally develop all of these skills in a fun, engaging, and less stress way. Okay, so again, remember, play is not just for fun, it can be a powerful way for children to learn and grow. Okay, now let's look at each of the development domain and its benefits of play. Okay, so first we look at the physical domain. Okay, so in physical domain, play can actually help children to develop their gross and fine motor skill. So this can include coordination, balance, and encouraging healthy safety habits. And then we have cognitive. In cognitive means that anything related to their mind. Okay, so um, play can include thinking skill, problem solving abilities, memory, creativity, decision making. So all of this can actually be practiced during the play session itself. So play can encourage children to think on their own and find a solution. Okay, so in terms of language development, okay, play is a crucial tools, okay, crucial way that help to expand children vocabulary, improve their communication skill, and also strengthen their speaking and listening abilities. Because in play, they need to communicate with their friends. They need to send their ideas and so on. So all of this can be practiced during the play session itself. Okay. Moving on to the social domain, right? So in play, it can promote cooperation among peers, sharing teamwork, conflict resolution skills. Okay, so this interaction actually help children to learn to work together and understand others. Okay, so as they grow, they will have what do you call that, um, similar goals to be achieved. Therefore, these skills are very, very crucial. Okay, and then we go to emotional development. Okay, so emotional development is also another critical area. Okay, so through play, okay, children can actually build confidence once they win. Okay, they want something, so they feel more confidence to play with the games once again. Okay, they learn about self-regulation, develop resilience. Okay, play again and again, and express the emotion in a safe environment. Okay, and then lastly, we talk about creativity. Okay, play can also stimulate for imagination and innovation lah. So it encourage children artistic expression, and also can help children develop all of this flexible thinking. Okay, so by supporting all of this domain, play can become essential part of holistic child development, okay, which can help to prepare children for the challenges in life in the future. Okay, so again, why play is essential for holistic development? Okay, because simple. Okay, it's not just about fun, but it is the basic, the way, the fundamental way for children to learn and grow. Okay, what happened during a play? They explore the surrounding, they engage with their friends. Okay, so all of these experiences actually help them to apply all of this knowledge and skill in real life situation. So there are research that consistently highlight that play support all area of development. There is not one or two, there is hundreds of research. So all of you can just go go up to the web, okay, do some web digging, You can find hundreds of research articles that talks about play that supports children development. Okay, so play basically nurture the physical abilities. Okay, the enhance the cognitive skill, right? Language skill also can be developed during play session and so on lah. So ultimately, play basically prepare children for a lifetime learning and growth foundation. Okay, so play lay a strong foundation for the children future. Okay, all right, so these are some of this example of play and development lah. Okay, for example, if children were playing with blocks, basically they are practicing their cognitive, fine motor skill as well as their creativity. And then if they were playing pretend play, okay, so in pretend play, they need to communicate. They're basically practicing their language. They need to play with their friends. Basically, they're enhancing their social skill. And when you play with your friends, you need to some sort have emotional regulation. Okay, so they basically learn how to control their emotions. So we as the adult, okay, what are our roles? Of course, when we want them to explore, then we need to provide safe and stimulating play environment. Not only that, okay, to further extend their play, we need to offer open-ended materials and varied play experiences. Okay, and we also need to observe children interest in order us to provoke or to enhance or to increase the level of difficulty in their play, okay, and developmental progress. So we as the educator, we guide learning through questioning and encouragement without actually taking over the play. All right, so we need to give assistance just as much as needed, but not to overwhelm them that could cause them not to learn anything. Okay. Okay, so finally, let's look at the implication of play theories for teaching practices. Okay, so as we all know that theories has become the groundwork, the foundation of our learning approach today. Okay, so basically, okay, all of these theories can help us as the educator, okay, to guide us in creating learning experiences that both, okay, meaningful and suitable for children developmental stage on top of being fun. So all of this theory, okay, emphasize the using of different teaching method, okay, which can tailor to the varied needs of goal of children rather than we stick just with one approach. Okay, so there's a lot of approach, be it the classical or be it the cognitive one. All right, there's a lot of approach, so we just pick and select according to the suitability of the children development. Okay, so by understanding applying these theories, we as the educator can ensure that they are supporting each child learning journey, okay, in a way that it's both effective as well as engaging. Okay, so again, the educator role in play-based learning. Okay, we as the educator, we are not just watching or giving instruction or directing. Okay, we need to think that play as a guide or as a facilitator. Okay, so there is also research that show that learning is most effective when there is a mix of child-led play and adult guidance. Okay, not totally the child just play by themselves, but not totally adult directed all, but a mix of it is the best one. So it is important for us as the educator to know when to step in and when to let the kids explore on their own. Okay, so educators create a safe and stimulating environment. Okay, that could help to actually spark some creativity and motivate for exploration. Okay, by observing children interest and need. Okay, we as the educator can actually ask question, probe more, okay, to make the kids think more deeply. Okay, so this also can be called as a scaffolding. All right, by supporting the learning without taking over. Okay, so we can we can also encourage for teamwork, collaboration, okay, and problem solving, which also very important. Okay, so all of the activities should be adapt or suits to each child development or unique development lah. Okay, so by applying all of this theory, okay, we can actually support for all rounded development and help build confidence, creative and independence children. Okay, so this also can help to leads to a curriculum that is balanced, what between what children want to do and what the teachers be able to guide the children to do. Okay, all right, so I think that will be all for our unit this time. All right, until we meet again on our next unit, thank you for listening everyone. Assalamualaikum, bye.